YouTube, we're here today. In extreme patience, I have not opened this box, and it shipped to me like 3 weeks ago. I've been working on the Diabolon. I've been working on the Consendo S, and I've been working at work. So that was the last week. That's why you haven't seen anything. If I work over 70 hours, you probably aren't going to get any videos. So this box comes from Champaign, Illinois. So you can start guessing. Or you probably already know from the title. Look at this. We have some garbage. And we have a packing list. That looks kind of good and exciting. We'll lay that aside. And what do we have here? Oh my goodness, this is going to be exciting, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's a 3-bladed prop! That's not what I'm doing unboxing for. Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the ticket right here. I think that's it. So we're gonna unbox this, guys. When you get an ultra micro plane from Horizon Hobby, it comes in these neat little cases, and they're really simple unboxing / build / setups. And this is a micro AH-64 Apache. It's got brushless main and tail rotors. From what I understand, the landing gear are weak from reading reviews, and but boy does it look pretty. I mean, that thing looks really good. And it has safe on it. It's got sensor-aided flight envelope, and that is going to give us basically the beginner mode is going to be limited pitch and bank angles, just like an airplane. Intermediate mode is going to allow you to do a larger flight envelope, and then basically expert mode is going to allow you to have full control. So without further ado, let's cut it open. This is a bind and fly, not a bind and fly basic, meaning it comes with the battery, and all you have to do is provide your receiver. In my case, I'm going to be binding it to a DX18 Gen 1. Of course, you could use Gen 2. I'm not 100% sure how many channels you actually have to have, but either way, we'll find that out real quick. I'm pretty sure 18 will be sufficient. I hope. If it's not, I'm going to be really ticked off.
There was an option that had a radio, right?
Yeah, they have a ready to fly option as well. So this is why you buy Horizon Hobby products, guys. This is a Blade product. Comes with a manual. It's in English and other languages. If you buy it as a bind and fly, it comes with a DXE, which I believe is a 5-channel or a 6-channel, depending on if you include the controls. And what you're going to do is you're going to load up your batteries. In my case, I'm just going to turn on my radio. Why don't you pause it for a second? Okay, guys. So basically, this book is going to tell you all the different setups for the DX lineup. So I'm going to be a DX18. So I'll follow these instructions here. And basically, it's going to tell you what to set up. And we're going to do that right now. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and pull the thing out of the box. So, if you look, we've got one of the wings sticking through. And pull this out. Nice factory packaging. Oh, that thing is beautiful. It looks like a model, guys. Oh, wow. That thing looks so good. About the only thing on this model that isn't scale looking would be, of course, the collective pitch rotor head. Is a little bit on the, man, look how nice that looks. That looks like some sort of a model that you would buy, a plastic model. And I've heard that these landing gear are quite weak on forums, and also from the guys at Horizon. Looks like that gun is going to be weak, but boy does it look sweet. Very scale looking. The dual tail rotors, that is awesome. I didn't realize that the blades weren't going to come installed, but I guess they don't come installed. So we'll have to put those in. It comes with screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like 4 total rotors. So no spares, obviously. This comes with some double-sided adhesive tape, some zip ties and a screwdriver. Not 100% sure what that's for, but I'm not real excited about finding out. Also comes with a charger. It's got a global style connector on the end, so if you're buying this in the UK, you would get a different type of connector, or if you're in overseas somewhere. So in our case, we've got this type of outlet. So that's going to plug in. That's our 12-volt adapter, which is kind of nice, because you'll get these things all the time, and then you're like, well, where the heck am I supposed to get my adapter? Well, that's great. Oh, good. Look at that. It's got a 2S and a 3S charger. That's very nice. And of course, you could plug this straight to a battery. I almost never do that. And it comes with a battery, which incidentally, in this case, we're going to get charging right now. This is a 2S 400 milliamp 30C LiPo. And I'm going to go ahead, and it's got a JST on the end. And then it looks like a conventional 2S charge port. So we can actually charge it on this charger, or we can use my chargers here. And I've got a variety of different adapters. In this case, I would use this adapter in there, and then I would plug this into my balance ports, and I would use my Common Sense RC charger or my Hobby King C3 charger. But for the moment, we'll go ahead and use the factory charger. So let's get that fired up real quick. Plug it into the wall. Plug these together. You notice it's flashing red. When I plug this balance charge lead in, you're going to plug it into the 2S port with the 2 pins pointed up. And then your lights are going to go solid. And if it starts going flash, 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 that's a problem. And then when these are done, I believe the green goes off. And that's the same as what I've had on other helicopters from E-Flight brands. And it looks like there's this thing under here. Yeah, so that's everything. So that's everything in the package. So we'll go ahead and get this out of the way, and we'll come right back to you. All right, guys, so I pulled the canopy off, and just looking inside the canopy, this thing here is basically just, there's a lot of people that have trouble getting the batteries in on these, so I'm going to be careful about that. It's very fragile. And so I'm just going to try to be as careful as I can with it for now. I'm not an expert on collective pitch helicopters, that's for sure. There's a few magnets that hold in. Magnet, 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 magnet. And magnet, 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 magnet. Also, the other thing is I've decided to, rather than installing these blades, which is ironically enough not discussed at all in the manual, which is really fantastic, I'm going to wait and do that until after I've got this thing bound up. So we got a bind plug here that comes with it, but I'm just going to use a binding port that I have for my DX18. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the battery and we're going to bind this thing up. This thing isn't fully charged yet, so I'm just going to unplug it for the moment. And in order to bind this, we have to set up our model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this channel. I'm going to go to my DX18. I'm going to go to System Setup. I'm going to go Yes, Model Select, Add New Model, Create. At which point I'm going to go to Model Type. I'm going to select Helicopter. Data will be reset. Sure it will. And then I'm going to go into the swash type and I'm going to set it to normal. It already says normal. And then I'm going to go into the F mode setup, which I'm just following this list. It looks like switch B is already this. Switch 1 is switch B. Switch 2 is inhibit, and then hold switch is H. Where's H? Which one's H, guys? So switch H with that on. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna go to channel assign. I'm gonna go 1 is throttle, 2 is aileron, 3 is elevator, 4 is rudder, 5 is gear, 6 is collective. That's kind of interesting because it doesn't allow me to change it. I believe that's pitch then. Must be the same as collective. Must be a firmware update. And it looks like auxiliary 2 is switch I. So gear. So gear is set right now to D. We want to change that to B, evidently. Okay, then we want to go over to auxiliary 2, which is going to go to I. Okay, where the heck is I on here anyway? ABC, oh, I, it's the bind switch. Okay, so we can hit back. The frame rate is going to be 11 milliseconds, which I don't really see that anywhere. The functions list. Let's check here. Nope. Okay. Frame rate, there we go. 22 milliseconds. When 11 milliseconds is selected, digital servos must be used. Okay, fine. Good enough for me. That's what they say. Use 11 milliseconds. Okay. And let's make sure it's selected, which it is. Panic mode operation, bind I button. Press this panic mode on, release this panic mode off. Okay, good enough. So, servo function, it looks like everything's set to 100%. Okay, so evidently that's safe. I'm gonna redo that because there's hold is on right now. That's good. So I'm gonna turn this back on. I'm gonna turn it off and turn it back on. Hold position 1. It's giving me a warning for that now. So right now it's in normal mode. That's hold. So heading hold, I believe, is what that is. So the throttle curves, dual rates and expo. Good Lord, there's a lot of setup for this. So we're going to go to dual rate and expo. Dual rates 1. We're going to change the switch to F position. Okay, so now we can go. Switch 1 is 100 with expo of 25. So on position 0. How are we doing on time on that video?
You're at 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay. Okay, so position 1, we're going to go expo 25. And then position 3 is going to be expo 75. Oops, excuse me, that's 25. So once we're set to 25, we'll set the dual rates down to 75. Okay. So the dual rates to 75. Okay, it looks like for the elevator, which is also on switch F, for elevator, so in the first position, switch F is 100, 100, 25. Okay. Okay, then we want to do 25 for position 2. And then position 3, we want to set this to 75. And then we want to set this to 25. Okay, cool. And then we're going to go up to rudder. Then from rudder, we're going to change. Okay, we're going to go to 100, 100. Okay, so then it's 25. And you guys can see kind of how I'm just following through the chart. The reason I'm following through this chart, normally I would start with the factory settings and then I'll make adjustments from there. Here's the thing, on a helicopter, I'm so unfamiliar with the vast majority of it. I mean, I know how to fly a collective pitch helicopter, but I've never used a programmable controller for it. So I've got a lot of changes to what I understand about the way this is all set up. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back. So basically what's gonna happen is all 3 axes are gonna be controlled by switch F, which is nice because that's where I usually set up my expos anyway. Okay, and then throttle curve. Go to a throttle curve. Looks like we want, Okay, so the switch position N looks like point 1 is 100, 80, 75, 80, 100. Nope, on N it's going to be 0, 25, 50, 75. Okay, so the default on N. Okay, good enough. On I, it's going to be 100. Then it's going to be 80. And then it's going to be 75, and then it's going to be 80. And then looks like 0.5 is, what the heck? Oh, 0.1's 100. Dang it, guys. Sorry. Okay, so 100, then 80, then 75, then 80, then 100. Okay. All right, now on switch. And this is all supposed to be tied to the hold switch, which is this one. Okay, so on switch 2, looks like I want to be 100. $190, $85, then 90, and then 100. Okay. So now we can go back from throttle curve. So now we're going to go to pitch curve, which is of course for us the direction the blades go, not the direction of or the speed of the motor. And they are different on a collective pitch helicopter. Okay, so from the N setting on the H control mode, we want it at, looks like, there we go. So we want the N position to start at point at 30. Okay, so it's 30, then 40. Then 50, oops. Then 75, then 100. Okay, cool. Then on position 1, we want 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. Okay, good. Now, do I want Expo to be active on this? That's a good question. Because this would be Expo active or Expo inhibit. I don't know, guys. I think probably you want it on, but I don't know that for sure. And it looks like the hold position is supposed to be 25. 25, then 37, then 50, oops, already at 50, guys, sorry. Then at 75, then 100. Okay, that's cool. All right, so we need to go back to the throttle curve and go to the hold position. It looks like it's already set to 0. All right, cool. Then we want to go to timer. Tail curve, mixing, timer, there we go, timer. Countdown timer is 5 minutes with throttle out over 25. Inhibited? Nah. Well, I guess that's true because really you're only going to consume battery. This is a helicopter, it's not an airplane, so when you take off, you're going to be running the motor. So we really don't need to account for the battery usage unless you have the stick up. So that's going to be my thought. Okay, so now that we have this model built, let's go in and change the picture real quick too. So we'll go to system setup, yes, model name. Hey, I'm going to type in Apache. So if you guys want to just wait a second, we'll come right back when it's done. All right, guys, so I've got the bind plug plugged in. I always just tuck one in here in this little void here on the back of my receiver. So now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to turn off my transmitter, which this is totally backward on a helicopter. You always want the transmitter on. Okay, press and hold the bind, turn on the transmitter. DSMX, 11 milliseconds, telemetry. Okay, so we're bound now. Okay, so you can see the collective pitch working there. You can see the collective pitch. Okay, so with hold on, you can see it moves everything. Get a little closer view. So this is my heading hold, or my hold. So now you can see it works like that. With that off, then the props go. And then of course it's trying to hold the position. So that's pretty awesome stuff. So then as I move, this moves the swash plate, this moves me up and down, and then my rudder would normally be effective for both directions because the torque effect of this prop spinning, or the whatever it is, the rotor spinning, would actually create the desire to spin like this. So hold is on, throttle, so it's like a throttle cut. And you can see on the screen it says hold right there. So here, I'll wake up the screen. Normal, so everything works, holds on. And so you're still allowed to fly the helicopter. So like if you turned on hold, and you would basically auto gyro down. So, all right, cool. So now that we've got it bound, let's unplug the power. Let's turn this off, go through a full reset, unplug my bind plug, and I'm gonna get this stuff back in here real quick. And that was way more complicated than I thought it was gonna be. I've got helicopters from back in the day that fly on crystals, as opposed to DSMX, DSM2, and they're collective pitch helicopters. So this is going to be a new thing for me, and hopefully I don't chop my hands off. But if I do, you guys get to watch. Guys, we're here with the Apache again, or still, and we've already got everything bound up. We've got it working electronically. So now we need to install the props, which they come with 4 screws and then 4 blades. There's a couple staples, so you'll just have to pop these out of the package. If you look at the drawing, they never actually tell you how to put these on, and so that's kind of a predicament you'll run into sometimes on models, is that you don't always have explicit instruction, which on a model of this caliber, I expect there to be explicit instructions. I mean, they give you a million other instructions that are extremely explicit. Just looking at the blades, they're wiggly and just plain plastic. They're probably going to break if you hit something, even though they have the ability to move out of the way. They obviously all go the same direction. They have the same airfoil shape. And just looking at them, they're all numbered 4. So I believe on some applications it's possible maybe they would have a different number. But either way, just looking at the airfoil, I guess I need to figure out if the 4 goes up or not. So let me do a little checking. We'll pause it real quick. All right, guys, so we're just gonna get these little screws out. I can't find anywhere in the manual that tells me which direction to go with it, so whatever. I guess I'm just gonna, you get these 4 little screws. They're very small. They've got a hex drive on the top, an Allen style hex drive, which incidentally is included in the package, which is nice. But I would imagine that most of you guys, if you're working on helicopters a lot, you'll have some of these tools. I do have a lot of these tools, but I'm going to use the provided tools just to show you what it's like. Came with a bunch of extra zip ties. I don't know if that's like for after I crash it, or if that's, you know, just to confuse me.
It's the repair kit.
So here's your Allen tool. So I'm just going to get that Allen wrench out. And it appears that it is normally threaded. And I'm going to get this thing most of the way tight. And if you've ever worked with a collective pitch helicopter before, usually you don't want to like go too crazy. You want these things to move free, but you also, in my experience, you don't want them to move so free that they're constantly always out of alignment when you start. I like them to move a little bit. I don't like them to move that much. And obviously you want to, I chose to put the number 4 up. I don't know that that matters. The airfoil appears to be about equal top and bottom. So we're going to pause it, and when we come back, we'll be done tightening all 4 of these.
Okay.
All right, guys, so we got all 4 prop blades on. And what I always did before is I wanted to have an approximately the same amount of resistance so that if you do have a strike, you mitigate some of the risk in damaging the shaft, the main shaft, and all that crap in there. There's a lot of crap to break. And there's a lot of crap to break free. And the hope is if you do have a strike, it will just break something free. And I'm just noticing I messed up. So we're gonna fix that real quick.
Okay.
All right, YouTube, we got some safety glasses on, just in case. I'm gonna pull this canopy off by lifting up and then out, okay? Then this battery, some people were complaining about being able to fit the battery in effectively. Well, the first thing I'm gonna try is I'm gonna try to get the bind plug out of the way by sticking this out of the way up here, because obviously you're not gonna be binding every time you do this. And you can see where the outrunner is, okay? You wanna make sure you have clearance on all that. And then this wire, or set of wires that goes to the brushless, we can get out of the way somewhat. And you wanna lift that up, slide this battery in. Preferably you can work it underneath. I'd like not to have my balance charger leads damaged. So I'm gonna try to go this way with it. And guys, I'm just gonna struggle through this. So if you already know, just fast forward. See, I've already got it in there. That was really easy. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. You can point the gun. Oh, this thing just keeps, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Just wait, 5 minutes, everybody. That could be a changed tone like you've never heard. Okay, throttle cut theoretically is on, also known as hold on a helicopter, or in this helicopter's case. And I'm gonna go ahead and establish a connection for power. Letting safe initiate, grabbing a hold just to be on the safe side. Waiting for the 3 beeps. Okay. Cool. And if you want to exaggerate the output, you can turn these so you can see if it's moving, which it is clearly moving. Put it to low rates. Okay. Nothing. Good. Okay, now we gotta figure out where this is gonna go. Just gotta make sure that doesn't run up against the bell housing of the motor. And so far it's kind of really wanting to try to do that. So I'm gonna try to tuck this down in a manner that will keep it out of the way and not get rubbed by this motor, the bell housing. Okay, so that kind of tucked it down nicely. See where that went?
Wait, let me focus.
See, now that's kind of down and out of the way. Okay. Guys, I gotta say, I mean, I'm not some sort of an expert on helicopters, but that was pretty easy so far. I've had a heck of a lot harder time getting batteries in planes. Okay, now I have to figure out which mode I'm in. And we're going to do that the same way we do with a plane. That's panic. Panic, okay. Okay, this throttle might start, so be aware. Okay, This is gonna spin. Okay. That sounds so cool. All right, throttle cuts back on. I'm gonna attempt to straighten these up a little bit. It felt really resisted, in my opinion. Cleared the timer. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test how this works in my hand. Throttle's up. That's gonna be a lot of yaw control. Throttle cuts on. Notice the canopy wanting to pop up, just making sure I don't have anything issues. Okay. Okay. Throttle cuts on. So now I have to figure out if I'm in safe mode. Okay, go ahead and pause it for a sec.
Okay.
All right, guys. Up in the air. It's just so different than what I'm used to. And those wheels are a little sticky. The hold button, with the hold button on, it's fairly safe. But it's just kind of scary because I've blown up helicopters all in one piece. Okay, why don't you go back just a little bit. I'm losing power here. Yep, it's killing itself right now. So basically the battery must be low voltage warning out. So why don't you pause it for a second?
Okay.
Alright guys, so I unplugged the battery and we're gonna just pop this little sucker out and we're gonna just check the voltages real quick. I must say I'm really nervous about this thing because it's so pretty, and to be perfectly honest with you, it feels really wonky, so I'm not 100% sure. It feels pretty warm. Let's get a battery meter out. We'll use this one here. Just a regular battery tester here. Negative port in there. Okay, so 2 cells. Voltage is 6.16. Yeah, 3.8. Jeez. So guys, that's my virgin run on this battery. So if that tells you anything, this either is a bad battery out of box, or we drew it down like crazy. But this battery should not be dead. I mean, we flew it for like the flight time, and half the time I was screwing off. So I hope I didn't get a bad battery. If I did, I'm sure eFlight will take care of me, but I'm not too thrilled about it. We'll pause it. We'll see if we can get something else in for you.
Okay.
Okay, so we're on this different style of charger. I don't want to depend on the crappy eFlight one that came with it. So I'm going to set my charge rate down real low. This is a 400 milliamps, so I want to be 0.4 amps. I'm actually going to set it to very low at 0.1. Oops. I want to go LiPo battery, LiPo balance, and I'm going to set it to 0.1 volts.
Okay.
And then I'm going to set it to, obviously, 7.4 volts, which would be a 2S setting. And then I've got this plugged into the balance port here. And then I just have like a little XT60 into the JST. So we're going to charge that at 0.1 amps, the lowest rate I can do. And we've confirmed the charge time. So we're going to see if that resolves our imbalance issue. And if not, guys, we won't be flying this helicopter for a while, which might explain the weird behavior. If we have a bad battery, it could conceivably cause this thing to be weak, and weak helicopters fly weird. So we'll see how that goes. And just looking inside of here, I don't think we've bound anything up in terms of the collective, the swash plate or anything like that, any of those parts. But it's always possible. Either way, guys, I really appreciate you watching. I know this has kind of been anticlimactic, so maybe we'll go ahead and add an extra segment here in the next day or so. Or when this thing charges, we might try to get another video up. But I just want to let you know, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do our best to get you some flight footage as soon as weather allows. Maybe if it's going to be finicky, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it inside until I am 100% confident. I don't want to blow this thing up on the first flight. So maybe some grass will give us some nice insurance. But guys, what a beautiful plane. Have you guys seen that thing yet? Just look at the finish on it. It's phenomenal. Looks like a model grade model. I mean, it's made of plastic, the rivets. I mean, it's weak like that too, but just beautiful plane, or not plane, helicopter, and just the gun pivoting is so cool. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.